Good morning, yogis. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Alana from Alana Kane Yoga, and today you're joining me from Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. It's a beautiful morning here, and this is a great morning practice to loosen up your hips a little bit, get the body moving, and give you some energy for the day. So if you have some props near you, go ahead and grab them, maybe a blanket, a block, a pillow. I don't have anything here with me this morning. It can be done without anything. But you might want to have those handy. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So today we're just going to start in a seat to find our breath and kind of tap into the body here as we begin. So let's just bring those shoulders up towards the ears and let them roll down the back, close the eyes, and just start to follow the breath. So just starting to find some moments of peace and quiet, starting to notice how the body feels this morning. Starting to find those nice deep inhales and exhales, feeling that chest really expand as you breathe in, and then release as you exhale. Starting to feel nice and grounded here as we start our day, maybe picturing the color red at your seat, maybe even picturing some roots growing out of your seat, really connecting you to the earth here. Feeling grounded and safe as we start our days. If you have an intention you'd like to work on or set to make your day start out really great, you can bring that to your mind now. I will let you choose this morning, whatever it is. Maybe you have a big meeting coming up, or maybe you just want to get through the day stress-free, whatever it might be, bring that to your mind. All right, so start to flutter the eyes open, and we're gonna get right into our yin practice today. We're gonna start with straddle pose this morning. So just go ahead, start to bring the legs out. They might not get as wide as, say, if you did this practice at night or in the afternoon. Just because it's the morning, we haven't really moved too much. So find that nice comfortable seat, really get rooted in. And we're gonna start by just folding right down the middle. So slowly just walk the hands forward. And you'll start to feel the legs kind of give you some feedback. So find that pose we can hold for a few minutes here. You can let the head and the shoulders go if you'd like, but if maybe that's a little too intense for the morning, you can keep it straight spine. So just start to find that nice equal inhale and exhale. So this morning we're working a lot of our stomach and spleen meridian lines. So these lines run in the morning hours, so it's great to jumpstart these to kind of get your energy moving for the day. If you have a hard time in the morning, this might help you balance those meridians to help you kind of get a little more energy, a little more up and at 'em during those times. Nice deep breaths here, breathing through it as we wake up our back and our hamstrings and our hips. All right, so we'll start to inhale our way back up. You can bring the legs together, find some movement, maybe some exaggerated windshield wipers to work out some of that intensity you might be feeling. And we're gonna move into a tabletop pose next. So stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over the knees. We're gonna find a couple cat and cows to start, just warming up the spine. So inhale, head, tailbone go high, belly drops. And exhale, round the spine. Really push the ground away here. Moving at your own breath, your own pace. And wherever you are, just find one more round. And we'll come back to that neutral spine. Let's take the gaze over towards the right toes. So we're finding a little C curve. Just breathe into that side body, waking up. And back to center and switch sides. So gaze towards the left toes. And come back to center. And we're gonna lower onto our bellies. So just come all the way down to the mat. Let's stack one forearm on top of the other, create a little pillow, and let the head rest gently here to start our back bend. Really filling up here, a couple more breaths. All right, so if you have a sensitive spine, you can stay here, but we're gonna rise up into Sphinx pose. So start to lift the chest and the head. Bring the forearms so they're on the mat, elbows right under the shoulders. And we're gonna breathe here. So shoulders away from the ears, head can kind of bob around if you need it to. Maybe a block under the head here. Our legs are pretty loose. We're not trying to constrict them here. Just breathe into the spine. Use those lungs as almost an airbag to support you. If this is too intense for the morning, you can always come back to that level 1. Couple more breaths here. Alright, so you can start to lower down and push back to a child's pose. So release the spine here. So toes are going together, knees are coming wide, let the hands walk out. Head comes down to the mat, or maybe you stack two fists. Just coming back to the breath here. Alright, so from this child's pose, we're going to start to curl the toes under, lift the hips for downward facing dog. So get there nice and slowly. Maybe walk it out, shift the hips, bend knees. And we'll start to lift that right leg behind us, three-legged dog, and just step the foot through. So you might have to help it get there, that's totally fine. So we're gonna be in a low lunge. Drop that back knee, and we'll sink into this left groin for just a moment. So you can be on tented fingers, you can have blocks, or maybe you come to your thigh. Gonna work into a hip series here, so we're starting to get into it. Alright, start to walk that foot to the outer edge. Right hand comes to the inside. And we're going to find our lizard lunge. So, knee can be right in line with the ankle, or toes come out, knee wings out. Up to you. You can stay on your hands, maybe go down to the forearms, maybe find a bolster. I'm going to stay up because it's the morning. You might not get as far. Again, you are nice and cold here this morning unless you worked out beforehand. So just sinking into our hips. Breathe here. Any thoughts or emotions, just let them come in and out. Don't put any judgment on them. You come back to that mantra here that you set for yourself in the beginning. Whatever that intention is to work on for the rest of the day, start your day positively. Alright, if you're folded over, come back to the hands, and we're going to flow right into half pigeon or swan. So begin to just shift that front foot over to the left side of your mat, laying that leg down. If you need to go to a down dog to get into this, you can. If pigeon doesn't work for you in this variation, you can come into deer pose, just swinging that left knee right out from the hip. You can do it on your back as well. So let's set up our pigeon nice and balanced here. Maybe put a block under that right hip. Maybe you stay upright, or maybe you start walking yourself forward. Sink into the breath here, surrender into the pose, just letting the upper body relax. If you're folded over here, start to make your way back to your hands. And we're gonna curl those back toes under, lift, and send it back for downward facing dog. You can stop in the middle for a table as well. So work out the hips here, maybe lift the leg, bend the knee, roll the hip open. I tend to do this on both sides. So you can find whatever movement works for you. All right, let's set up to get into that left side now. So lift that left leg, step it through the hands. Find that low lunge, drop the back knee. And again, if you need a blanket under that knee, that's a great option here for you. And just find that pose where we're working that inner right groin. So you can be on the hands, tented fingers, blocks, or maybe you rise up to the knee. Alright, so we'll start to walk that foot out to the edge of the mat. Left hand comes to the inside. Find that lizard lunge, so either knee and ankle together, or you can wing that foot out. You can be on the hands, you can go on your forearms, you can be on a bolster. Starting to work into those hips. You sit at a desk all day, this is a really great way to warm up our hips so they're feeling a little more open, not so crunched and tight. Alright, if you're on your forearms, coming back up to the hands, and we're going to start to walk that foot over to the right side of the mat. Laying that leg down, walking the back leg right out from the hip, maybe a blocker blanket under this left side. Find your swan, maybe you stay upright, maybe you sink down. Find your pose, and we're just going to breathe through it here. Relaxing into it here, maybe coming back to that intention. right, so if you're folded over, working your way back to the hands, curl those back toes under, find a downward facing dog, walk it out, work out that hip intensity. From this downward facing dog, we'll just find a seat. And you can start to roll onto your back, bring the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze here. And we're gonna end in our Savasana. So maybe your legs go long, or maybe you take the feet together and knees out to open the hips a little bit more. So your choice here. If you have some extra time as well, you can add a supine twist to each side in, but just start to relax the body. Maybe bringing that intention to your mind one last time and start to sink in. So begin to deepen your breath, bring awareness back into the body. Wiggle fingers and toes, maybe circle the ankles and wrists. And then find a fetal position on the right side of your body, cradle your head in your arms. One last moment of silence to yourself. And begin to push yourself up. Find a comfortable seat. I thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you feel a lot better than when you originally woke up. Feel free to leave me any feedback or comments you have, and I look forward to teaching you again. Namaste.